If this is the type of vampire movies that we are getting back into, bring them on. We need them. What's going on, guys, and welcome to my review of Abigail, a film I've seen twice, and both times my opinions have not changed on it, and that's a good thing. So before I get started, this was a video that was requested by one of my subscribers that I was happy to oblige, and because of my long hiatus on here and my funk that I was in, now that I'm out, since the last two uploads that I did, I got a comment on one of those asking me to review Abigail. And also for future references, for future notes, I do get a lot of comments and I do get a lot of notifications from other YouTube channels that I'm subscribed to. So if I miss one or two or several, I apologize. If you've been making requests, I think I remember reading something about doing a Battleship review, which I do plan on getting around to that because I just found it on Netflix the other day and I was like, oh yeah, I just got a comment about that too. But I was in such a funk around that time. So now that I'm finally getting back around to doing these, hopefully I won't get back to that place I was. I'll try my best to try to keep up with everybody as much as I can. So, to those of you who request stuff for me, thank you. I really do appreciate that. I enjoy getting those. It puts me to work and it gets me going. So I really do appreciate it. So now, here's the Abigail review, as requested. So the film essentially follows a group of assailants who kidnap this little girl and brings her to this undisclosed location, and unbeknownst to them, finds out that she's a vampire out to seek blood. So as I said, this is a film I've seen twice, and my opinions have not changed at all. I enjoyed it the first time, I enjoyed it the second time. This is a film done by the group Radiosilence, who did the last two Scream movies and Ready or Not. 3 films I really enjoyed, so when I heard that they were the directing duo behind this, I sort of figured I would enjoy it. Forgive me if I'm saying these names wrong. Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett, there's actually 3 people of the Radiosilence, but those are the names that gets brought up the most. But I think their directing is really good. I've liked what I've seen of them so far. And with Abigail, it did not falter. It did not alter. It did not fail. So with that being said, diving into the positives, there's a nice build-up with the first couple of acts, which a lot of people will argue because there's this thing that's going around to where a lot of people are saying that what kind of ruined it for me that Abigail was the vampire and this and that. I mean, to me, it really wasn't no big secret. Even with the trailers and the way the ads was advertising the film was saying that, why did you ruin that for me? I could have just dealt with all that other extra stuff and just delved into the vampire stuff. I really do think that this film worked best that way, knowing that Abigail was a vampire, because it's all over the posters. There's no secret about it. I honestly don't understand why people are even bringing this up or even discussing it. It's one of those things that if they didn't advertise it like that, I don't think it would have seemed all that interesting. You gotta know what kind of film it is in order for you to sell it, so I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is. But moving on from that, as I said about the tone, just like the first couple of acts, when you really get those real tense build-ups, and just the fact that something is going down, something is really wrong here, and you got these characters like Melissa Barrera, Chris Durand, and Kathryn Newton trying to figure stuff out, and it just becomes one of those sort of mysteries in a way, which is a lot of the reasons why a lot of people are pissed off at the marketing. Again, I don't really think it faltered it at all. I'd rather go in knowing that Abigail was the vampire than not. But more on the subject of the build-up, you got this really nice change of pace to where it's the type of movie it is. Just like From Dusk Till Dawn, where Quentin Tarantino, where he directs this straight up kidnap drama, and then by the time they get to that bar, it turns into a straight up horror fest. And that really worked for that film. But same with Abigail. I think it really worked with the scenes just building up to the tensity and the all-out chaos that ensues later on. And I really do think that worked for the film. I think it gave it a really nice edge to it, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. And speaking of the characters, you got Elon Musk, Chris Durand, Melissa Barrera, who was awesome, and you got Abigail herself, played by Alisha Weir, who I think owned this part. She nailed this part to the wall. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She owned that part down to tooth, bone, flesh, and blood. There's not a single moment in this movie to where I didn't believe that she was the type of character she was. And she portrayed it so well that when it came to the point of where she played this scared little girl just afraid for her life, and then all of a sudden she just flips it around on them, and she just does a 180 and just goes crazy, shows her vampiric side, if I'm saying that right, and just goes nuts on them. And I thought that was a really nice transition, and that to me makes a really, really good actor. Really good acting skills. And I love how they gave Abigail her own signature. Like right before she goes in for the kill, she has her own signature, which is very unique to her persona and her character in ballet. You know how Leatherface has his chainsaw, Michael Myers has his butcher knife, Freddy Krueger has his finger knives, Abigail has her ballet as her own type of signature, and I really like that. That was like, to me, like the crown jewel of it all. I gotta give Alisha Weir props. She was amazing in this, and there wasn't a better casting choice than her.
Guys.
Kathryn Newton, you got her, which I always think highly of. Angus Cloud, who sadly had passed away shortly after the release of this. I think this was one of his final acting jobs before he died. You got a really good cast. Everybody did really good. And these are the type of characters, the assailants that kidnaps this girl, that to where the situation that they're in kind of makes you feel for them and makes you like them. And it's like, even though he's an asshole, he's like, you're cheering for him at the same time, if that makes any sense. And I think the film does a really good job. It's kind of like an oxymoron situation there. Especially with Melissa Barrera, who was in the last two Scream movies, and I think really high of. I think she did a really good job in Abigail. I think she owned up to herself. There was plenty of things for her to do that really made you believe that she really held her own throughout the whole entire film. And I was cheering for her. She's pretty cool. I like her. I hope I see more stuff with her in it, which I'm pretty sure I will, because she's becoming one of those bankable actresses. The Carnage Candy, if you're looking for blood and guts and gore, if you're a gorehound just like me, this is definitely the film for you. They hold nothing back. This is a hard R-rated horror film filled with gore, and that was pretty satisfactory. And the whole entire time I was like, damn, sweet! Which brings me to my next point. The jump scares was done really nicely. I mean, there wasn't enough in it, but that's what made it workable. Because most of these horror movies, especially PG-13 horror bullcrap, they do so much of them in those that you're pretty much desensitized, and you can pretty much sense them a mile away. Night Swim. But with Abigail, they actually do the right amount for you to actually jump and for it to actually do its job and know what the hell it wants out of its audience. Because there's plenty of moments in the film, because it didn't happen so often, it didn't become a cliche of itself like most of the other horror movies does, that in Abigail it actually done it right, and it actually times it just right. And most horror movies that comes out, it doesn't really know how to do that. In Abigail, it definitely did its job there. That I really did appreciate. There were certain moments in this film to where I hardly get this feeling that much, but there was some overwhelming, joyous moments that I had to where this feeling just started coming over me, especially when chaos started ensuing. And I was watching the screen, I was like, damn, this is awesome. Oh my God. I'm not saying that I cried, but I just got that overwhelming feeling of joy and excitement of the thing that I was watching. And that also doesn't really happen to me that much with horror movies that comes out nowadays. With Abigail, it really did that to an extent to where I was just feeling joy of what I was watching because I was enjoying it that much. And that right there, that's something that is a dime a dozen. So I'm pretty sure you already know where this is headed. Abigail was a true blast. It was fun. It was horrific. It was bloody. It was gory in all the right places to where I have to put it on a pedestal. Abigail, what was your thoughts on this film? Have you seen it yet? Are you a fan of this? Are you a fan of the vampire genre in general? Are you one of those that was getting really bored of this genre, but then came across this film and went, oh wow, I hope we get more of this. I hope we get more of this, because that's definitely how I feel. Or are you somebody that just doesn't care, just wants to move on? Leave me a comment down below and give me your thoughts. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. And make sure to click that bell icon so you don't miss a thing. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.